I wish I had more debt. We all love debt. Americans love debt. We also love making minimum payments. That must be the best way to manage our money, is to have a lot of debt and just pay the minimums. Or maybe there's another way. Maybe there's some tools out there to help you get out of debt, to get rid of the minimum payments and have more money going into your savings. That's what we're going to talk about today. I am Mike Fry from Dashing Upward, and I'm excited to share with you today our tool called the Debt Snowball Accelerator. We have put together a spreadsheet on Excel, soon to becoming Google Sheets also, and we are offering this to anybody that wants it as a free download to our Dashing Upward website. Download that and you can start working it. My goal today is to walk you through some simple methods of using a debt snowball and getting out of debt as fast as possible. So, with that said, I think the best thing to do is to start with showing you how the average person handles debt. And I put together a simple example on the board here. So we are going to run a person who has 4 different debts. That first debt is a credit card. And our example is they have a $2,800 balance, a 15% interest rate, and their minimum payment is $50 a month. And going down the line, credit card number 2, $5,000 balance, 22% interest rate, and they're paying a minimum payment of $100 a month. This person has a $12,000 car note at 8%, paying $300 a month. And the lovely student loan debt, $38,375, which is the national average of student loans, with a national average of 6.5% and a national average of payment of $536 a month. So what happens today with people with debt is a couple things. Their discipline is not there to have a way to get out of debt. So the debt snowball is nothing magical. Really what it is a motivator. I believe it's a motivator to help show you that you can get out of debt. And here's a simple roadmap for you to get out of debt. So I want to go back to how most people handle their debt today. Most people will handle this debt. The balances will go up and down, okay? They'll continue to pay minimum payments, and they live in this cycle of debt for the rest of their lives, of just having debt, paying debt down a little bit, having more debt. Dashing upward is about getting your dash upward, going up, living a life of generosity with purpose. And part of that is having your finances under control. So when we look at the way the normal American is paying debt off compared to some other systems or methods to pay that off, that's what we're going to show you with the debt snowball. So here's what's going on. They're paying $50 a month. Let's say they end up paying that debt off, okay? When they pay that debt off, most people then either create a new debt because they paid this one off and they feel this relief and they're like, well, I got, a little bit more debt's not going to hurt me because I'm down. I had some progress. So that's the wrong way to think. The thinking that I hope you get is, other than my mortgage, consumer debt needs to be paid off as quick as possible. When they pay the $50 payment done, when they pay the balance off, that $50 gets absorbed back into their lifestyle. And so their payment, well, let me back up for a second. The minimum payment in this example right here is $986 a month. That's what their minimum payment is currently. They end up paying this debt off. Then they end up now only going down to $936. That $50 gets absorbed into their lifestyle. So by doing this and going this method, let me give you some sobering news. This credit card right here, by just paying the minimum, or not even the minimum, because the minimum is going to drop as your balance goes down. just staying at $50 a month is going to take you 97 months to pay that off. I believe if you calculate the interest on that, you're going to end up paying about $2,000 in interest on a $2,800 credit card bill, which is not good for your long-term financial success, okay? This $5,000 credit card bill is going to take 137 months to pay off if you continue to pay $100 a month. That's really sobering. That's over 11 years. Your car payment, that was going to be a little bit less because it's a set payment, 47 months, and your fantastic student loan that you have is going to take 91 months to pay off. So you're basically looking that you won't be debt free for over 11 years by just paying the minimums, and that's if you don't create any new debt. Okay? So this is 137 months to become debt free. And you're going to end up paying $23,042 in interest to financial institutions over that 137 months for them to carry that debt. That's coming right out of your retirement. That's money you can't invest for your retirement. So let me show you a better way. And let me explain, before I show you a better way, let me explain it to you a little bit. A debt snowball. Now there's debt snowball and there's a debt avalanche. And we're gonna kind of touch on both. Most of my presentation today is gonna be geared towards the debt snowball. Just it's, I believe, a little bit more motivating for people, okay? The debt snowball says, rather than this $50 going into your lifestyle once that debt's paid off, that $50 will get paid towards the next debt. So when this gets paid off, this payment turns into $150. When that gets paid off, this payment turns into $450. And when that gets paid off, that money snowballs down to this one, and you're now paying $986 to your debt. So here's the way to think about it. When you're doing a debt snowball or a debt avalanche, your debt payment is $986. It stays at $986 until all your debt is paid off. All you're doing is rolling and not having that money absorb back into your lifestyle. Once that money rolls back into your lifestyle, it actually is going to motivate you to create more debt because you're going to feel like you have more expendable money, and many people create more debt, and that keeps you like a reverse snowball. It keeps you in debt continuously. If you get your discipline together and motivation to get out of debt, which Dashing Upward wants to help you do, you're going to want to say $986 is in my budget, and that's paying off the debt. Now, let me explain briefly what the difference is between the snowball and the avalanche. On our spreadsheet, you do have an option. There's a drop down and you can pick snowball or avalanche, whichever one fits better to get you out of debt. That's the one you should use. The difference is this. The debt snowball focuses on paying off the lowest balance first. And the reason it focuses on paying off the lowest balance first is because we're trying to create victories. We're trying to create wins for you. Victories and wins when you're paying off debt keep you in the game. They keep you motivated, okay? So they're gonna focus on this one getting paid off and then this one, and they're gonna go right down the line like that. The debt avalanche takes a little different approach, and they actually focus on the interest rate. So a debt avalanche, if you decided to go that way, it's gonna pay this one off first, then this one, and then that one. Now, I will tell you, the avalanche may save you a few $100 in interest. It may get you out of debt 1 month earlier or a half a month earlier if you actually stick with it. However, this is a long time. And going a long time without any victories, people fall off. They fall away. and they lose their motivation. Part of getting out of debt and getting your finances together, it's a mental situation. It's a mental game that you have to work to keep your mental game and your mental motivation into the game of getting that debt paid off. So the snowball does do that because you feel like you're making better progress by seeing these little debts go away quicker. Okay, so that is the difference between a snowball and an avalanche. Now, there are mistakes that people make. Let me talk about those a little bit. One mistake is they haven't committed to not creating more debt. Okay, putting together a plan of paying your debt off without making a commitment of not creating more debt doesn't work. You're spinning your wheels in the mud. That's what you're doing, okay? So you have to make a commitment. I want to get out of debt, and I'm willing to do what I need to do to get my debt paid off. I want to become a more generous person. I want to provide for my family. I want to save better for retirement. You need to put those motivations above Amazon garbage that you're buying, okay? You're putting it above all the coffee stops at Starbucks. Now, I don't have a problem you stop and get Starbucks. I buy stuff on Amazon, but you need to set up guardrails on those things to leave you money to pay your debt off as quick as possible and build a reward system for yourself doing that, okay? Another mistake people make is they will let that money go back into their lifestyle and not snowball. Or as you're paying this $5,000 down, this $100 minimum payment will drop too. So we don't want that to happen. What we want you to do is to follow the payment schedule on the spreadsheet, because it's going to tell you keep paying $100 a month no matter what. All extra money would go towards certain debts, and pay the minimums. You have to keep paying the minimums on everything and consolidate all the money towards one debt at a time. Okay. I'm trying to think of other mistakes in this area that they would make, but they may pop in my head as I'm going through the presentation. If they do, I'll just jump on them then. But right now I want to kind of show you the effects of the snowball. Okay. So let me take you to the actual snowball. This is actually, I changed that and it's supposed to be 137. But let me show you. This is your current situation. Okay. This is what I just did on the other page. This is just normal debt payoff and paying minimums and having them paid off. If we debt snowballed with the same $986, and we snowballed that, months to pay off are going to be 78 months instead of 137. That's crazy. Just using the same dollar amount and snowballing it, we have reduced your debt from 137 months to 78 months. Okay? The interest you're going to pay by snowballing it is $18,230, saving you $4,812. Almost $5,000 in savings of interest and years off of your debt by just snowballing it. Now, by following Dashing Upward and going through some of the concepts that we're going to teach you over time, we also want to help you free up money for investment, free up money for building a savings account, taking care of your family, enjoying your life. But we also want to free up money to pay off your debt even faster. So, what happens if we pour a little gas on this? Okay, and a little gas would be, let's say we paid an additional $100 a month. So now you're paying $986 plus the $100 a month. That is going to reduce you from 78 months to 65 months. That $100 a month saves you 11 or 12 months of time coming off, or 13. I don't even know how to add, but that's what we're at, okay? There's a lot of numbers being thrown around here. But we're going from 78 months to 65 months with that $100 a month. Your interest you're going to pay on this side would be $14,340. So we're saving an additional $3,890. And if we add up this one and this one, your total savings over this number right here is $8,700 saved. That $100 and using the snowball will end up saving you almost $9,000 and cut your time down almost in half, or in half, I guess it is, to get you out of debt. That is motivating. If we can get you on this plan, get your debt snowballing down. This isn't even talking about a mortgage, but that's another conversation. I just wanted to do consumer debt and student loans. But let me throw one more little thing on there. Let's say you really buckle down. You're following our system. Your finances are coming together. And let's say instead of $100, we are able to apply an additional $500 additional to your payment. Okay? So now where we're at is instead of 65 months, you're going to pay your debt off in 43 months. Under 4 years. Your interest that you pay, instead of 14 grand, you're going to pay $8,551 in interest paid. And I apologize for my handwriting. Really bad. I understand that. But you get my point. This is about you getting out of debt, not about my handwriting. So we're okay with that. When you look at doing this, the savings that you have created, if you're able to apply an additional $500 to your base payment of $986, you are going to save, my number is this here is additional savings of $9,679 over these two numbers here. Is that correct? Is that $9,679 of additional savings in interest from this number right here? Okay, so the debt snowball, that $500 is saving you additional almost $10,000. That is crazy. And just to scribble on the board one more time, your total savings is $18,381 over that, doing the debt snowball. That's crazy. So here's what I want to do. These numbers are all made up for example. Some of you watching this video have numbers that are probably much better than this. And some of you are watching this video and your numbers are much worse. It doesn't matter where you're starting right now. The key is to start. The key is to take that step and to move forward with a plan to get your debt paid off. I read off a bunch of numbers. A lot of these were out of my head. There might be a few mistakes in my numbers here. So if you're trolling me, just move on, okay? This is the idea of helping you get out of debt. That's where we're at. In our spreadsheet, the Debt Snowball Accelerator from Dashing Upward, which is free to help you get out of debt, is something there for you to download. Okay, so you saw my writing, you saw the scribbles. I hope you see my heart. My heart is to help you get out of debt. Dashing Upward is here to help you, and that's what we want to do. I am going to encourage you to do a couple things. Number one is to click on the links that we have and go download the software. I shouldn't say software, it's just a spreadsheet. It's a Excel spreadsheet, and maybe by the time you're watching this video, there will be a Google Sheets version of it too. So we're planning on doing both. Right now we just have the Excel. They're gonna work the exact same way. I encourage you to go download it. It's a daunting task to start getting out of debt. The first thing you want to do is to lay out your debts. Just put them on the table, get the ledgers, see where you're at. You're gonna have mixed emotions about it. On one hand, you're gonna feel maybe a little depressed when you see your situation. It can be depressing, it can be stressful. On the other hand, it also will be somewhat relieving that, hey, you are taking a step, and the first step to moving forward is to see where you're at and to get clarity where you're at. A clear vision will help you set that goal going forward. After you get everything set up, go into the spreadsheet, and it's very simple. You're gonna enter in your debts, you're gonna enter in Snowball, and then let the spreadsheet tell you how to pay each debt. Now, always remember, if something on my spreadsheet is showing a number which is lower than your minimum payment for that debt, you need to pay the minimum. We want to create a situation where you're having any problems of not making a minimum payment. So get that spreadsheet downloaded, start entering your data. Second thing I'd like you to do is to follow us on Instagram, like us on YouTube, follow us on YouTube. We're going to be creating all kinds of content to help you get your dash going upward. This is Mike Fry signing off for today. Thank you so much, and good luck with your debt payment plan.